How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcons Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After Our Soul. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 spy action comedy film, and this is the fifth installment to this franchise that began since 2001, and that is Spy Kids Armageddon. Now, as I said, this is the fifth installment to the Spy Kids franchise, and this one serves as a reboot to this franchise as well. And in this film, we follow these children named Tony and Patty, and their parents are the world's greatest secret agents. And their parents are played by Zachery Levi and Gina Rodriguez, and their names are Terrence and Nora. And what ends up happening with these children is that they unwittingly help a video game developer named Ray Kingston, aka the King, played by Billy Magnussen, and they unleash a computer virus that ends up giving him the to have control of all the technology, and it eventually leads these children to become spies themselves, and they have to save their parents and save the world. So that's pretty much the story of Spy Kids Armageddon. Now, when it comes to the Spy Kids franchise itself, I never watched any of these movies when I was growing up as a kid, but around the time when this new entry was coming out on Netflix, I did check out the four movies that we did get before this movie. And for what I think of all four of these movies personally, the first movie I do think is loads of fun. I think it's a really fun, cool family spy movie, and it is by far my favorite of the franchise. The second movie, The Island of Lost Dreams, I do think it's a solid sequel, but definitely not as bad than the original. The third movie, Game Over, I do think is a decent entry, but the last film, which was of course All the Time in the World, I do agree with everyone, which for that one, it's arguably the worst of the franchise, and that movie was just complete garbage. And all these movies were directed by Robert Rodriguez, and I do think Robert Rodriguez is a talented director. He's well known for making family films such as the Spy Kids franchise, as well as with other films like The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and he even did a standalone sequel to that, which was, of course, We Can Be Heroes. And he's also well known for making a few adult films as well. Like he's made a few like horror films and sci-fi movies and action films like From Dusk Till Dawn, Sin City, and many other things over the last few years and decades, in which there are a few handful of them I enjoy quite a bit when it comes to some of his other films outside of making family films and all that, in which that was the first thing that introduced me to him as a director. And I did check out this movie on Netflix just a few days after it was released and all that. And after watching this whole movie here, I thought this reboot was not too bad here. And I can definitely say this one was definitely better than the last entry to the Spy Kids franchise. Although I wouldn't necessarily say this one is definitely like the best entry of this franchise since the first year, because it was overall a decent watch here. The overall storytelling for this movie, I did feel it was pretty familiar to the original film, even though it does tend to have a few differences here and there, in which this one involves like video games, and while in the original film it had something to do with like a cartoon show. But still, though, the story isn't too bad here, even though it does tend to have some familiarities to the original Spy Kids movie. And the acting, for the most part, I thought was overall pretty solid. Like Zachery Levi and Gina Rodriguez, who played the parents in the movie, Terrence and Nora, I thought they were overall pretty solid in the movie. And the chemistry was decent for the most part, even though it certainly isn't like the exact same level of like what Antonio Banderas and Carla Gugino did in the original movies. And the kids who were in this movie, I thought they were overall pretty good as well. And yeah, they were cute and fun together in the film through their chemistry here. And as for Billy Magnussen himself, in which he plays the villain in this movie, he is really over the top. And yeah, he does feel hammy, but he is still actually quite good in the movie here. Although his character, I did feel, was one-dimensional here. And the action, for the most part, I thought was overall enjoyable at best. And the effects, for the most part, were decent as well, even though it does tend to have some of the recognizable green screen that we've seen before in some of Robert Rodriguez's other movies, in which some of the other Spy Kids movies did have some of that in those movies, and it just brought that all out, and it kind of brought that back all over again here within this new entry to this franchise here. But all in all, Spy Kids Armageddon, I thought this was overall a decent reboot here, but it is still safe to say that this one was definitely better than the last one. But again, it certainly isn't the best in this franchise here. But if you're overall a huge fan of the Spy Kids franchise, or you're a fan of like director Robert Rodriguez or any of the stars, I would definitely say this would definitely be a good, really good treat here for the kids here. And if you do have Netflix, it is available to stream on Netflix for free here. So that's pretty much all to say about Spy Kids Armageddon. I'm gonna give Spy Kids Armageddon 3 out of 5. Definitely a lot better than the last one. Although I would put this one on par with the third movie, and I would say it's definitely nowhere near as good as the first two as well. Although the first one is still my favorite when it comes to this whole franchise, even though, like I said, the second one I thought was just solid as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on Spy Kids Armageddon, and let me know what you think of this new entry to this franchise if you have seen this already, or just recently checked this out. Did you have fun with this, or did you not really care for this one? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.